Welcome back, everybody. It's Zach here, bringing you guys another fantasy football video. So I'm doing a mock draft on the Sleeper platform, and for the purposes of this video, I'll be doing a 10-team half PPR snake draft. I will be picking from the one spot, and I think it's going to be pretty interesting, actually, because we did get an update just yesterday, actually, that Christian McCaffrey is dealing with a calf injury. He's going to miss the next several weeks and not participate in preseason at all. That I think is going to scare me enough to start things off with going some other direction with the 101. It'll be interesting to see how things progress from there in terms of what ADPs do, but it's going to scare me enough. Like, I just don't want to draft an already injured player with the first overall pick, so I'm really fun to see how we actually end up building a roster after doing that. So really fun doing these videos. I'll try and do some live streams and stuff of some drafts going forward as well as we get deeper into August and draft season for all of you guys. But hopefully you guys find this fun. If you guys have any comments as I do this, I'll try and talk through my process and all that. Let me know in the comments below. If you guys want to make sure you get access to the draft kit, just make sure you go check my website. It's completely for free for you guys there. There's a full page, 20-page document going over all my favorite players and all that. And there's also full rankings and projections in Excel format for you guys as well. So yeah, with that being said, let's just get into the draft here. So we'll start things off. I'm starting things off with the 101. I personally am going to take Tyreek Hill with the 101. I understand that maybe that is a little bit weird, but like I said, I don't want to take an injured player with the 101, and Christian McCaffrey being banged up already in preseason at his age, it's enough to scare me off of it. Prior to the injury, I certainly would have been taking Christian McCaffrey ahead of him, but it's just enough to sway me a little bit the other way. We got super lucky here. We're going to get Kyron Williams with this pick, which is absolutely fantastic. Generally, if I've got one of these top three picks and I take a receiver, I tend to be really heavily leaning towards going running back with the next pick. And getting Kyron at pick 20 is absolutely fantastic. And then being able to double dip here, I think I'm going to be very interested in taking Derrick Henry again this season. I think he's really in line for a massive year. We're going to look at receiver here. None of the guys available really get me super excited. Devontae Adams is someone I've talked about as a real bust candidate this year. Brandon Ayuk is someone who honestly, he's probably going to be traded within the next couple days. He might even be traded by the time you're watching this video. You'll be watching this video on Thursday. I'm recording it on Tuesday, so he could be traded by then. Nico Collins is great, but I don't want to take him in the early third right now. It's a fine pick, but when you mix in the running back options here, Derrick Henry gets me super excited. Josh Allen at 20 is okay if you want to take a quarterback early. It makes sense to do it in a smaller league, like a 10-team league here. At tight end, none of those guys get me excited enough to take them here. I'd much rather take the value of Trey McBride at the 4-5 turn. So yeah, I think we're going to go with Derrick Henry here. Really round out our running back spot. We've got Kyron and Derrick Henry. That's a really great start, especially getting to pair those guys with Tyreek Hill. So I'd be super stoked to have that start to a draft. Coming around here, like I said, I do want to be considering Trey McBride here at the 4-5. I will take him or Mark Andrews if they're available. Trey McBride will absolutely be one of my picks here, though. He's a guy that I'm super high on. I think he's going to finish as the tight end 1 this year. And just think he's in line for, honestly, one of the best seasons we've seen at the tight end position in a long time. I think this is an offense in Arizona that's going to be fantastic. And I do believe McBride is one of, if not the most talented tight ends in the NFL at this point. So we'll take Trey McBride there. Beyond that, looking at the other options available, Cooper Kupp would have been in consideration for me, but I don't want to be double dipping on the Rams offense here, going Kyron at the end of round 2 and then taking Cooper Kupp. Scares me just enough to not consider that. I do want to be considering wide receiver here, just because I already got 2 elite running backs. I'm certainly open to going with a running back as well if I need to, so James Cook is in consideration. DK Metcalf's a great pick here as well. Also relatively high on Devonta Smith this season. He sounds like reports out of camp that he's just a superstar. We know he's an extremely talented player. It makes a lot of sense that he could have a really great year this season. If we look down a little bit, I don't want to reach on any of these guys here. You do understand if you're picking at the turn here that you're going to have to reach for some players, but none of those guys are worth reaching to me. Like Tank Dell would probably be the next highest rated receiver other than these guys. I don't want to take that reach here. This is tough. It's generally scary to take 3 running backs in the first 5 rounds. I'm not really considering quarterback here because I'm hoping to get that Kyler stack likely at the 6-7 turn. So I'll be reaching there to get Kyler, but I'll be more than okay with that. Looking at the receiver position here, at that 6-7 turn, we could probably be taking a guy like Christian Kirk. Maybe George Pickens falls to us. At running back at 6-7, David Montgomery or James Conner are great picks. I think I'm going to take DK Metcalf here and just give ourselves a really solid wide receiver too. That was a tough choice, though. I could have easily gone with James Cook. He was a really tough choice for me to pass up because I know I'm not going to get him. Obviously, we just saw him go 2 picks later, and it makes a lot of sense. I think James Cook's in line for a massive role, but I think DK could have a really good season this year with new offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb. I'm expecting pretty good things out of the Seattle offense, partly because I don't expect that defense to be very good this year. So a lot of opportunity there. I'm taking a look at the whole board here. Anthony Richardson being available is certainly something I want to consider here. Reaching on a guy like Kyler seems a little scary there, just because I think Anthony Richardson's got #1 upside at the position. I'm willing potentially to wait at the quarterback position. There are still, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys left that I'm super happy with if I end up with. And teams that don't have quarterbacks, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 quarterback teams that don't have quarterbacks. So in a 10-team league, I'm okay being the last team to take one, especially if I miss out on those top-tier guys. So I'm actually not going to take Kyler here. Looking at the rest of the options here, I think James Conner is a really great pick at the running back position, someone that I'm really thinking is going to be extremely valuable in the weeks that he's healthy this season. So I think I'll start things off with James Conner here. Didn't mean to click on him. And then we go on a double down here. I probably want to get another wide receiver. I don't want to be going with 4 running backs with my first 7 picks here. So looking at the wide receivers available, I think I'm looking at Jaden Reed here as a guy who I think could easily be the wide receiver 1 for the Packers and someone who I'm really excited about this year. It also still gives me that opportunity to stack him with Jordan Love with my next pick. So we'll go Jaden Reed here. That's a really great pick. I'm really excited about him this year. We saw a run at the running back position here, 4 straight running backs before Anthony Richardson went. That's totally fine here because I think we're almost effectively done taking running backs, at least for a couple rounds. We've got 3 really rock solid guys that I'm confident in, so I wouldn't be looking to take a running back anytime super soon. Things made it back to us, and this is a really great setup for us here. We're going to take Jordan Love. He's one of my favorite draft picks at the quarterback position. We didn't get Kyler, but that's okay. Jordan Love is one of the 2 quarterbacks that I'm trying to get in effectively every draft I do this season. Sure seems to want to load there. So after Jordan Love, though, I think we're going to be looking at a wide receiver. Options here would include Calvin Ridley, Deontay Johnson, Ladd McConkey's an option, although he's dealing with an injury that has me a little bit concerned. So I don't think I'm necessarily going to be looking to do Ladd McConkey with this pick. Just queuing Jordan Love because it doesn't seem to want to let me pick him there. And then we'll probably go with Calvin Ridley as the other pick. So hopefully it lets us here. Let me refresh the page. Hopefully that didn't just screw everything up. That'd be really sad. While this loads, there we go. What is going on there? Okay, well, while this loads, I'll just sort of talk through things. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more content coming out over the next several weeks. We'll be putting out 4 videos a week throughout the course of the rest of the off season. So if you do want to get access to more videos like this, I highly recommend subscribing. It's going to be a lot of fun going forward. Hopefully this works now. Good. Okay, we got Jordan Love, and we're going to go Calvin Ridley. So really great. Glad that didn't completely brick our draft here. But yeah, we're going to keep putting out videos at the course of the offseason. There'll be 4 videos a week until he started the NFL season, and we honestly might do even more than that during the regular season. So if you want to be around all offseason and regular season long, see if we can win some leagues together, just make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's all going to be free. That way I can help you, and you guys can just come along for the ride and have a lot of fun with us as well. So highly recommend subscribing if you haven't already. If you guys like videos like this, let me know. I'll try and do some more mock drafts as we really get into the thick of mock draft or really actual draft season, because I know that at this point there's a lot of stuff that's going to be super valuable to you guys there. I'll also be doing an updated tier list for each position, so stay tuned for that. Those are really fun videos and should incorporate all of the most up-to-date information, so that'll be exciting as well. Looking at our roster, we've already got a quarterback and a tight end that I'm super stoked in. I'm probably not going to double dip at either of those positions, so really just looking at running back and receiver the rest of the way. Someone I've talked about as a really great value this season is actually Brian Robinson, who I think is going to be a guy that is going to finish as a low-end running back too, if not better. And because of the injury-prone nature of the running backs I did draft, as much as I'm super high on all those guys, Kyron, Derrick Henry, James Conner, not exactly guys that I'm super confident in playing the full 17 games. So getting a 4th running back here feels pretty good. And then at the wide receiver position, I really want to be starting to target upside here. We've got 3 guys in Jaden Reed, Metcalf, and Tyreek Hill, along with Calvin Ridley, who I'm super excited about. So I really want to start swinging for the fences, especially at this point in the draft, and Jameson Williams is the perfect guy to do that with. So I'm going to go with him there. I'm looking into our next picks here. We're going to be picking, right around, let's see, this is round 12, so we'll be picking right around pick 120. So receivers, I'm excited about right around there. I think Curtis Samuel's in line for a really good season this year. I think he's going to be highly involved, and he's certainly someone that I'm really happy to get on a lot of my rosters. So he certainly fits the mold of someone that I'm looking to grab here. In fact, he's going to be one of the picks here. And then Rashid Shaheed, I know it popped up with a hamstring injury right now. That is concerning. We never like to see wide receivers dealing with these soft tissue injuries, especially in training camp this early. But he's certainly an option here. But then someone who's actually been really rising up my boards lately, and I don't want to have take lock and just be super locked into Zach Moss this season, is Chase Brown. Chase Brown's gotten a ton of hype out of the Bengals camp this season. It sounds more and more like he's going to have at least a shot to the lead running back there. And if that's the case, Chase Brown's going to absolutely smash ADP. He's a really explosive athlete. He's a guy that can certainly do a lot with the ball in his hands after the catch, though they will utilize him in the screen game. Might be the kick returner for them as well. But he's a good player. Not a great pass protector last season, but if he can improve on that, he can certainly find a way to stay on the field a lot. And if that happens, Chase Brown could easily be one of the best drafts in fantasy right now. So I'll take Chase Brown, give myself one more shot at a really good running back. And then we've got 2 spots left here. We're not going to take, it's going to make us take a kicker in a defense, isn't it? If it doesn't, then we're not going to. We wouldn't do that this early in the season just because I'd rather take dart throws at other positions and then see if we can hold out and get value at those positions. Say we draft a handcuff running back and someone gets hurt, then we can cut someone else. So I think that's generally how I like to approach this. For example, Chase Brown, having him, that's great. If we get another running back, if Zach Moss goes down, then we would know that Chase Brown's an absolute rock star. So with these kinds of picks, these are guys that you're drafting that you know you're going to have to cut before the start of the regular season. So you want guys who are going to have the ability to make a decision on when the season starts. So drafting a guy like Rashid Shaheed, who I'm super excited about, doesn't really do a lot for me because I'm not going to know anything more really before the start of the season. It's going to suck to cut him. But if we looked at some of the handcuffs here, getting guys like Jalen Wright, one of my favorite handcuffs, so I'll probably snag him. And then Tyler Algier, another great handcuff there. So that way we can fill out a couple of dart throws. If neither of the starters get hurt by the start of the NFL season, cut those guys, get ourselves a kicker and a defense. But if you're drafting this late, there's just no point in actually drafting a kicker and a defense because I personally like to stream those positions, and I'd rather just have the upside of one of those other positions earlier on. So I personally like this team quite a bit. Obviously, you'll notice that whenever you do a 10-team league, you're going to be really satisfied with your roster. It's tough to really differentiate yourself, at least on draft night, at least in terms of just instantaneously knowing who did really well. But just as a quick summary for the roster here, we got Jordan Love at quarterback. Our tight end is going to be Trey McBride. At running back, we've got Kyron Williams and Derrick Henry starting off in the starting lineup, and then we'll have James Conner and Jaden Reed as our 2 flexes there. Running backs on the bench are going to be Brian Robinson, Chase Brown, Jalen Wright, and Tyler Algier as well. And then at the wide receiver position, we've got Tyreek Hill, probably the wide receiver 1 again this season. DK Metcalf, Jaden Reed, like I said earlier, Calvin Ridley, and Jameson Williams. So, along with Curtis Samuel. So, I like this roster quite a bit. Obviously, it's always tough to tell with these 10-team leagues because everyone ends up with a really talented roster. So, let me know what you guys think of this team. Also, let me know what other platforms and formats you'd like to see in terms of mock drafts. I'm going to try and touch on all these different platforms and formats so that I can give you guys a mock draft to go off of. Tell me what spots you want to see me pick from as well. So that way I can hopefully help you guys as much as possible. But so yeah, let me know in the comments. And yeah, hope you guys liked the video. If you did make it this far, please do give it a thumbs up. That way I know that you keep liking this content and you want to see more like it. So yeah, appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you with the next one. Peace. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, check out these other videos here if you haven't. If you want more content, please feel free to follow me on Twitter at RealSteelFFB. I'll be more active on there as the season goes on. Thanks. Catch you later.